Welcome to the Richard Sherman Podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Volumes YouTube channel to get more content. We coming at you 2 times a week. Subscribe now.
We're, I guess, officially or close enough to the halfway point of this season. You know, we've finally can really start assessing these teams. And there's some teams that appear to be on the brink of trouble. You know, I don't want to call it a new segment. We're going to dive into a new segment. I'm going to call it the Shermanator, Rich. You're now the Shermanator. You got a handful of teams in this league that either got life to them and got a fighting chance, or is it hasta la vista, baby, for these teams?
Okay, Mitchell. You're getting way too jazzy.
Dude, this wasn't my idea, okay? But I'll take the credit for it if I need to. But Rich, I'm going to start with last night's loser, the Cincinnati Bengals. Is there life to this team, or is it hasta la vista, baby?
Mitchell, there's life. He on the sideline for 4 to 6 weeks, but that is their only lifeline, Mitchell. That is their lifeline, Mitchell. If he is not back soon and the ship isn't afloat when he gets back, then it's likely hasta la vista. But we will see. I mean, if they look like they did yesterday, just go ahead and fold it up. They fold it up. Save your money. Fans don't go to the games. But I will say they still have a chance for now.
Jamar Chase is one of those guys. I think he's going to change the game in the sense of how we value the wide receiver position, right? I mean, drafted top 5 overall, helps have this resurgence of the Bengals, gets them to the Super Bowl. And then all of a sudden in the offseason, guys like Christian Kirk are getting paid $19 million a year. And you're wondering, how the heck are these wide receivers making this amount of money? And it's kind of like that Jamar Chase effect. And Rich, I think you're spot on, man. I mean, without Jamar Chase, this offense is stagnant.
Stinks.
Stinks. To the NFC West, we've talked about them once or twice on this show. You got friends on the team, Rich. The Denver Broncos, 3-5, coming off a win. They didn't leave Nathaniel Hackett overseas. They brought him back home with.
They brought him back. Okay.
I mean, do they have life, or is it hasta la vista?
I think it's trending towards hasta la vista, Mitchell. And by no means of the defense. Like you said, they're second in total defense, first in pass defense, second in scoring. When you got a defense like that, you're not expecting to be 3-5 and a play away from 2-6. You're not. You're expecting to be like, hey, we're leading the league in these categories. Like, we're a guaranteed playoff team. But thank goodness everybody else in the division that isn't Kansas City is struggling. They're still in it. They still have a chance, but being 31st in third down percentage, 31st in points per game offensively, that has to change. It has to be rectified, and it has to be upside down. Like, they have to have a second half of the season where they're leading the league top 5 in a number of categories offensively to give them a chance, or else it's probably hasta la vista.
Let's go to the NFC North. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. This team doesn't look like themselves. Rich, I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to toss it your way to get your input.
Mitchell. Poor A-Rod. Poor A-Rod. But defensively, again, second in pass defense, second and third down defense. A-Rod's still there. Last year's MVP. But they're 26th in scoring, 29th in rush defense. Aaron Rodgers don't trust nobody. Like, who does he trust? Nobody. Who he gonna pass it to in the clutch? Nobody. Like what I'm telling you right now is it's tough on A-Rod right now. So it's probably hasta la vista unless you can get a marriage, an annulment of the trade from the Raiders to the Green Bay Packers. Unless you can do that, this is hasta la vista, because you got Kirko playing well, and then you got the NFC East not being the NFC least. It's looking like the NFC beast. And then you got the NFC West with teams that'll likely take that 7th seed away from you. The only chance you got is that 7th seed, and that's not going to be easy to grab with the teams playing well in front of them. I don't see a savior in sight. I'm not thinking Christian Watson's going to be the savior. I'm not thinking Alan Lazard's going to be the savior. Aaron Rodgers doesn't think they're going to be the savior. So unless OBJ walks through that door and they can convince him Hasta la vista.
You got to think this team has some plan, right? I mean, you just have a division foe in the Vikings pick up Hawkinson. It's doable. You can trade your future draft picks for current assets. They just don't seem to want to. I mean, there's reports that the Rams offered up 2 firsts for Brian Burns. I mean, there's teams just burning picks. Aaron Rodgers is getting no younger. This team has a good defense. You know, they could make some noise if you give Aaron a weapon or two, but I guess they don't think they need that. And I'm with you, Rich. Hasta la vista to the Packers. I hate to do it to you, Richard, but we got to go there. The NFC South.
Oh,
Tom Brady. I know you love Tom, and they have a fighting chance anytime Tom straps on the pads, but be realistic for me here, Rich. Tampa Bay.
Mitchell. Yes, they can do it, Mitchell. I mean, they're in the South. That's the only reason they can do it, Mitchell. That's the only reason it's not 100% hasta la vista, because but defensively, they're playing well. They're getting a lot of sacks still. They're 5th in passing, 6th in scoring defense. Tom Brady ain't missed the playoffs in 20 years, so you got to expect this is not going to be the first, but it's going to be tough. But they're last in rushing. They have to find a way to run the ball. And you hope that Ryan Jensen comes back, and that can freaking change things on that offensive line whenever. They're saying December maybe, which would be really cool, a cool comeback story. I don't know. If they were in any of the other divisions in the NFC, then it'd be a no. But they have a chance because right now it's being led by Atlanta Falcons, and could have been the Carolina Panthers had somebody not taken their helmet off or a kicker did his job. So yeah, I think they got a chance.
It's miraculous that the one time in his career Tom Brady has a terrible, team season, if you will. He's still got a chance because he's in a shit division. So that is Tom's luck.
Luck of the draw, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. We kind of covered it on the last podcast. I asked you what's the future of the Rams look like this season. You said they're going to be at home, but does that hold true now? Is it? Do they have some life to them, or is it?
Mitchell, I don't know.
Hasta la vista.
I mean, they're trying to get some life by trading 2 firsts for Brian Burns, but I'm like, what first do they have? Like, they're going to be sitting there. My son's going to be in the league by the next time they draft first. Like, my goodness. But they're 5th in total defense. They got a lot of talent on that side of the football. 4th and 3rd down offense, but 31st in rushing. 30th in total offense. Fewest points per game in the NFC. Like, it's bad, Mitchell. It's bad offensively. And not to jump on a Stafford Titanic, but my goodness, like, I tried to tell you, like, it's just not built that way. And the reason he's struggling is because that offensive line, it's really bad. It's like what they call a dumpster fire of sorts, Mitchell, a dumpster fire. And it's getting worse. Like, the good guys, like, they're giving up on guys. So you would think, hey, they're going to trade for an offensive lineman. Like, they're going to trade a first rounder or 2 to get them some offensive linemen. But you're working on defense, and you can't score points. So
that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me either. I mean, I don't quite understand it, Rich. I mean, they have glaring holes, and they don't seem to be wanting to address them. They want to make their position of strength stronger. And at some point in time, these draft picks, I get it. You guys won a Super Bowl, and hats off to the LA Rams for that. I mean, certainly teams would give up, 3 years of picks just to have a shot at being in the Super Bowl. But at some point in time, this is going to catch up to him. And it probably has already caught up to him with this lack of depth on the offensive line.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Andrew Whitworth not being there is glaring. I'm sure they call him every week and offer him a little bit more money. And his wife tells him no every week. But whatever.
Well, Amazon's got deep pockets too. Right?
Bezos.
So come on now.